Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. I came across this headline over on The Verge, which is just astonishing. Quote, confirmed! The Vision Pro's front-facing display doesn't work yet. And what that's in reference to is dev kits for Apple's Vision Pro headset, which is not going to be sold until I think it's maybe midway or later of next year, have started to arrive. And even though Apple has some extraordinarily strict guidelines around any type of information around the device, to the point where, from my understanding, is they don't even want you to have anybody else in your household seeing it. So I guess you're supposed to put it in some kind of sealed black box room or whatever, or out in the garage under lock and key, and not even let your wife or kids get a glimpse of it, or somehow Apple's entire strategy falls apart. But of course, as we knew would happen, there are now leaks coming out because anytime some product gets into the wild, no matter what guidelines you set, somehow information will leak out. Why Apple thinks that they don't live in the world that the rest of us do, that all of the rest of us do. Sorry, I kind of slurred those words together. I promise I'm not drunk. I just don't speak English all that well. But why Apple thinks that that's not going to happen somehow, no matter what contracts and how many things you sign or what they try to do, That's an entirely separate five about Apple's inability to get out of its own reality distortion field. But as everybody knew would happen, now we are starting to get some details about the headset, the dev kits specifically. The thing is, I don't know why anybody cares. Outside of maybe developers who don't have access to the dev kits getting information on how the development on the product would work. Now, I could see that, but my suspicion there is that developers who know other developers who don't have access are probably not publicly disclosing that stuff. They're saying, hey, I'm going to tell you this just so you have an idea, and probably using vagaries and ways of obscuring specific details, but still giving their friends a bit of a leg up on what they might be running into in terms of challenges or specific scenarios to develop things for that. That makes sense, but that's not what this is. This is a report that a development kit for a product that's not even on sale yet and won't be for 6+ months, I believe, if not longer. I don't even know if they set a specific date. They could do it in December 20, whatever is the last day of next year. I don't think they said specifically when they're selling it. They just said next year. So to hear that a development device for a product that's not going to be on sale for probably a year doesn't have all of its features turned on, I'm sorry, how is that news? Why does that matter? Why would anybody care? I would just think that a development kit version of an unfinished device, and that's what it is. Let's be very clear here. This is not something that Apple sent out that I've seen any news on saying that this is a product that's 99% done. This is something to let developers get an idea of how the platform works and how they can develop for it. But nowhere have I seen anything where Apple's indicated that the device is done. And if it's not, I'm surprised that, half of the features would work on it. I would think that they would only enable specific things that they feel like the developers they're sending them to need to have. I would not have been shocked. I haven't seen anything that says this, but there's no way to know for sure. But there's no way that we can necessarily even know that everybody's getting the same headset. If you're a developer who makes primarily a certain type of application that would not utilize the front headset, because they have to manufacture so many of these and they probably don't have very many that are far along on hand, why would Apple send that developer one that uses the front headset? Unless they know it has to be used. Or it could be that it is intentionally disabled because Apple has some plan for it or knows that a component that they need for it is not going to be available till, let's say, 3 months from now. So I don't know why anybody even, I saw the headline, I didn't even read anything past it because it's a non-story. I don't know why it's even being reported because, again, it's a dev kit for an unreleased headset. Now, if it was giving people electrical shocks, some kind of safety problem, if it was somehow contradicting what Apple said was going to work, for example, they say that, that it's true in-depth 3D and you find out it's actually a flat 2D interface, yeah, okay, that's a news item. But even there, Apple could get around that. Well, not the electrocution stuff. They would have to deal with the safety issue. But if the display didn't work the way that it was supposed to, they could say, well, it will when we get to there. We're just giving you this so you have an idea of what the OS is doing so that you know how to develop for that. But again, I don't know why this is a story. I don't know why The Verge would post it or anybody else would even care. I don't know why anybody would read it. So what? The front display doesn't work. Guess what? It's not finished yet. So how is this news? I guess I just don't get it. Later.